This is Miss Sherbin. This is one of my first flipped videos for our test prep. The lesson is 19, Traits and Adaptations, and it can be found on page 100. And this is my second time recording, so you might see some things already underlined, but we'll go over it. So on each of these Measuring Up book pages, we'll find that the standards are listed up top. The I can statement, the vocab, reading, and guided questions. This is optional if you want to read along with me. I do suggest it, but what is not optional is going over the questions in the second video for this lesson. So we're going to always start off with the objective, or the I can statement. This one says, I can learn to identify traits and adaptations and their function for an organism. Function for an organism means how it helps it do things. So the vocabulary here is a trait, and a trait is an inherited, meaning it comes from mom and dad. A trait is an inherited physical characteristic of an organism. An adaptation is a trait or behavior that helps an organism to survive or reproduce. It's always a great idea to review the vocab before you read so you can understand. So guided instruction. This will give you most of the information you need to answer the questions in the lesson. It's not something you should or can skip, especially when we get into topics that we in 8th grade haven't covered, but you covered in past years. So how we're going to read is we're going to read, then go over our guided questions. But we're just going to quickly summarize each paragraph as we go along. Like every other organism, you inherited a set of characteristics, or traits, from your parents. These characteristics include skin and eye color and the shape of your earlobes. Dark skin and brown eyes are examples of inherited traits. Like other inherited traits include internal structures and the chemicals your body produces. Blood type is another trait that humans inherit from their parents. Some behaviors called instincts are also inherited traits. Together, these traits help you meet your needs and survive in your environment. So this paragraph summarized what a trait is, something you inherit from your parents, and it gave examples like the shape of your earlobe. Remember we had attached or not attached, skin color, eye color, internal structures and chemicals in your body. These were examples. And the reason why you have traits is to help us survive in our environment. The next paragraph. A trait that helps an organism survive in its environment or to reproduce is an adaptation. Every organism has many different adaptations that help it survive in its environment. For example, cacti live in dry environments. They have adaptations that help them obtain and store water. To obtain the small amount of water that falls on a desert, cacti have shallow roots that cover a wide area. These roots capture water efficiently. To conserve water, cacti have thick stems that store water during the long dry periods in the desert. A waxy stem slows the loss of water from the cacti. Like other plants, cacti have to carry out photosynthesis. However, certain chemicals let cacti carry out photosynthesis in a way that conserves water. Some adaptations help organisms reproduce. Flowers and fruits are adaptations that help flowering plants reproduce. The bright colors of flowers attract insects that carry pollen from plant to plant. Other plants grow fruit such as blueberries that surround and protect their seeds. The animals that eat blueberries carry the seeds to new areas. Other seeds such as dandelion seeds have structures that help them fly in the wind. So I just read 2 paragraphs, and I forgot to summarize the second. So here they talked about adaptations of a cacti and how cacti have to live in places with very little water. And cacti is plural for cactus, by the way. But the cacti have certain adaptations to help it not lose water, get water, and conserve water during photosynthesis. Other things are like the flowering fruits that help them reproduce, and that the flowers attract insects. Last paragraph. Animals also have adaptations that help them reproduce. Brightly colored feathers help some birds attract mates. Animals that fight over mates are often helped by horns or large body sizes. Other adaptations include mating behaviors. Many animals perform complicated behaviors to attract mates. And we've seen that in some of our clips that we've watched in class. So now we're going to go to the guided questions. Give me 1 second. Feel free to pause and review. Okay. One second. Okay. So what is a trait of humans? What is one trait of humans? We could go back over here. We can see that we have the earlobes, the dark skin, the structures of the body, and the chemicals that our body uses. So one trait of humans. You can pick a variety of these. I'm going to pick one trait of humans is let's see. I'm going to pick eye color. There are a lot to choose from. Okay, what is an adaptation? So an adaptation, we have the definition up here. Sorry if this is getting a little crooked. I'll get better at this, guys, I promise. Alright, I can rewrite the definition up here, but I'm going to summarize it as a trait that helps an organism to survive. A trait that helps an organism to survive. Okay. What is one adaptation that helps a cactus obtain and store water? So as I read here, they conserve water with thick stems. They have shallow roots. And they also have a waxy stem. So I'm going to pick one trait that helps a cactus to store water is shallow roots. Alright, now for my last guide question over here. What adaptations can help a bird attract mates? So, one that we had was that brightly colored feathers help some birds attract mates. So I'm going to put brightly colored feathers. And this is hard to fit in the space, so I'll keep it abbreviated. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, these will get better as I find better apps and I find a better system of doing this, but be prepared to have these up before they're due. They'll help you, and also now is your turn to do these questions from page 101, 102, 103. And then we'll go on to this next class. All right. Email me if you have any questions. Thank you.